Hey, Dr. Brad Murray, High Performance Health. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to keep mobile through the hips and stable through the core. This isn't just anterior, posterior planar, front to back. It's also, as we do rotational things, we want to wind up with the hips and shoulders and bring them through on things like a golf swing. We use a lot of this core lockdown where we don't want a lot of lumbar motion or a lot of low back motion. We want as much hip motion as we can get. That's what we're going to work here today. But this is a far end progression. This is one where we really get all the mobility from the hip and we really stress that ability to keep that core locked the entire time. Ab wheel rollout. So you're going to start with this. To get down the starting position, you're going to want to drop those hips back. You're going to get those shoulder blades tucked back and down, trying to tilt those guys back as well. You want to think about your low back as staying in the same position all the time. You don't want to get into this sort of rolled position to start because we're trying to keep totally neutral through the core and have this rollout come through the hips. You're going to feel the strain in your core because it's going to want to break on you. The goal here is to not let it break, to have full, as you roll out, eccentric control, and then as you come back, a little bit more concentric control. The way the core works is it tries to hold on from not opening up or loosening, which is an eccentric contraction, the most difficult contractions that muscles do. So this is how we're going to train it. This type of training is extremely functional, although you're not on the ground for too many sports, but this is how your core is always reacting. So it's going to look like this. Once again, that low back, that core, everything's nice and flat. Then what you're going to do is you're going to start pushing those hips forward. As those hips come all the way, the arms are going to come out. And then you're going to come back, right back to that seated position. You'll see with the back, there's no movement. All the movement's occurring right through that hip joint. So once again, the goal is to come all the way out. You don't want to tilt to one side or another. You don't want to feel like you're pulling your arms down with everything you got and rolling that back to keep you in that position. You want to feel like the hips, the mid-back, that line is going to stay unbroken, and you're just going to try to push those hips and face down to the ground and back. Work on this one. This is a further progression. It's definitely not easy. Work your numbers up with this guy.